Yo, welcome back to this series I'm doing on this comic I'm working on. It's going to be episode 2 of the Varsity Freshmen series. So, in this episode, I'm going to be talking about the thumbnails, how I'm thinking about those, and going about actually creating the webtoon now. I'm starting to get ready to create the actual uh, comic in Clip Studio. And so, today I want to talk about the thumbnails and what I'm doing to get those right. And then after that, let's talk about a little bit of Webtoon formatting. So let's get to it. So over here in my sketchbook, I'm pretty much done now. I only have like a few more thumbnails to do for this last episode. But Varsity Freshman is consisted of 3 episodes, right? And for each episode, I went ahead and in my sketchbook here, and I started drawing thumbnails for the episodes. And I guess you can call it a storyboard too, but basically the idea for these thumbnails is to basically set the mood and just keep and get a rough idea of what the comic is actually going to look like when it's finished. So yeah, the thumbnails are pretty much done. These are the episode 1 thumbnails here. I'll just show you this first page so that way I don't have to reveal too much of the story, just the beginning of it and how it starts. But yeah, like I said, I wanted to keep the thumbnails loose while I draw them, get a general idea to establish the mood of the story, and set the tone for the story and what it leads to, what the conflict is of the story. And so when I was working on these thumbnails, I was trying to make sure I was having different kinds of shots, or like camera angles you would have in maybe like a movie or so, but apply that to comics. And so the establishing shot is usually in the beginning of the story. I use this here to establish where the story takes place, and this story is in a rec center. So I start off at the rec with a view of the rec center. Then we go inside to the actual characters and what they're doing inside the gym, right? So then I just vary it and have close-up shots and a landscape shot of where the story actually takes place in, which is in this rec center basketball gym. Yeah, these thumbnails just help me create the mood of the story. And so before I move on to the webtoon formatting and stuff and sketching whatever in Clip Studio, I wanted to show this like series of thumbnails that I did right here down here. I had a lot of fun creating this one, especially this one is called the extreme close-up, where instead of the close-up shot like maybe this one is, I have an extreme close-up with the players' reactions, and it makes it pretty interesting here. So when I get to this point in the comic in Webtoons or in Clip Studio, I'm gonna break these apart and actually have these separated like that. But I just wanted to show you that because that's one of my favorite thumbnails I created, and I think it creates a lot of variation, but also creates cool little sequence, I would say, for this part of the story. So this is the size requirement you can upload to Webtoon, the 800 pixels by 1280 or 1280. And this is pretty small, right? You can't really draw a whole comic on this one page. And so what you have to do is multiply this number here to make it longer. And so on my notes here, what I did is multiply that 1280 by 5 by 10, how many ever images you want to eventually cut the longer version of, right? So let's just say this one is, we're gonna take this one for example. So make that a new file. We multiply 1280 by 5, and that'll be a longer canvas. So 1280 instead of 1280, it's multiplied by 5, so it's 6400. And now we have a longer canvas to create a comic on. And that way, after you get done drawing your comic on here, you can export it into those smaller 800 by 1280 pixels. So hopefully that makes sense. But that's basically what you have to do to create a webtoon on their platform, right? And so after you create the comic, each cropped image is going to be the 800 pixels by 1280. But instead of me working on the 800 pixels by 1280, I want to actually draw on a larger canvas. Yeah, I want to draw on a larger canvas, so I just multiplied 800 this one by 2 and got 1600 by 2560, and so that's what this one is here. This one's a longer canvas that I can work on to complete my comic and draw on it. This is where the first establishing shot of the comic is going to be, where they're at the rec center. And then from there, I just import the rest of my thumbnails because I don't want to redraw them. I just want to import them and then draw over them. So that's what I'm going to do a little bit later. But for each page here I have on the left in the story menu, the story menu is only available in Clip Studio Paint X if you have it. But over here on the story menu, I have 4 of these canvases here that I can work on to create the comic. And what's cool about the story menu is that you can actually view the comic over here on the left. So hopefully you can see this over here on the left, but it's like a thumbnail view of the actual comic and how it's going. And with the story menu, you can actually see each consecutive page that you have and what it's looking like so far over here on the left. So that's pretty cool. So I have the character design sheets pretty much done as far as I need them to be. I'll probably ink the full body for each character and do some touch-ups here and there, but here are the actual character design sheets that I'm going to use while I actually draw the comic. But yeah, now the next part is just refining these thumbnails, drawing over. So I'm really excited for to get this started, to start actually drawing it and get this finished, because one thing I want to do is make sure I complete this. I said I'm going to complete it, so I got to do it. So hopefully this video helped you all out, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.